farming, look, I mean, farming is definitely something that you want to do once you already establish at least one or two revenue sources. I'm not a big fan of agents that say from day one, Alan, I want to do farming. Yeah, unless you have like a 6 to 12 month budget. Farming costs money. Farming takes time. It's almost kind of like planting that seed. You got to water it. You got to water it. You got to take care of it. You got to protect it. You got to water it. And then hopefully in 3 or 4, 5, 6 months, you're going to start seeing something. It's the same thing with farming. I have a love-hate relationship with farming. There are months where I love it, and there are months when I hate it. Okay? But if you're consistent with farming and you have a really good call to action when it comes to your postcards and flyers, there's a chance you're going to be able to get the phone calls, you're going to get inquiries, and you're going to get listings. What I love about farming is the fact that once you kind of have that traction in that neighborhood, once you have that following in that neighborhood, when they call you, essentially it's a come list me call. Like they already know you, even though they never met you, because they've been getting your stuff for the last year, 2 years, 3 years. You're just going there, you develop that relationship with them. Half an hour later, the agreement is signed. They usually will pay full commission and you move on. Now, again, it takes time. I have not, I started farming in my 4th year in business. Not my 1st year, my 2nd, not my 3rd year, my 4th year in business. So that's something that you got to be very important about, okay? But it works. Also with farming, it just cannot be postcards. That's one mistake a lot of agents make, is they start sending postcards and they're not seeing anything. They're like, oh my gosh, I'm sending a bunch of postcards. It's not. No, it's much more than the postcards. You have to be engaged in your community. You have to be engaged digitally as well on Facebook, on Nextdoor app, creating ideally a Facebook group page for your subdivision or for the neighborhood. You have to hold open houses. You have to hold community events. All of those things have to be done, and they're all piece of the puzzle, if you will, in order for you guys to really maximize the return. Okay. Bonus tips on farming, guys. How do you look, or how do you decide whether the area is for farming or not? The top agent deal saturation should be less than 10%, ideally. And the turnover rate's got to be at least 5% or more. You can get that information from MLS. You can pull this information from MLS. You can pull the number of homes in the specific areas from USPS or from the HOA. If it's an HOA community, they're usually going to be a HOA website, and that HOA website will give you the number of homeowners that live in that community. Okay, when you're starting a farm, what you want to do is you want to start 10 weeks straight of mailers. For the first 10 weeks, they got to go out every single week. That's how you're going to be able to build the recognition. Okay, after that, you're mailing weekly. I mean, not weekly, bi-weekly. Again, you got to have at least 6-month budget. Ideally, you want to have a 12-month budget for your farming.